Hello, this is George, and I'm going to describe a simple pattern in terms of my Pattern Smasher 2024 toolkit. I'll be offering this 2024 toolkit in my Black Friday special that's coming up very soon, and I wanted to illustrate the power of Pattern Smasher, even if you're just dealing with a very simple pattern. And the pattern that we want to investigate today is what happens when we have a wide range bar and we have an up close. What happens when that occurs on the subsequent day, the day after that, and the day after that. So we're going to go 3 days into the future. And this is a very simple pattern. The Pattern Smasher 2024 was designed so that you could have up to 8 patterns if you wanted to, or 8 different criteria. They could be the same criteria on the same day, or it could be, I want today's close to be up, yesterday's close to be up, the prior day's close to be up. You can put all that into the definition of what your pattern is, and then you can do the analysis. This is going to be a 2-formula pattern, and because we have 2 patterns or 2 criteria, it's going to result in 4 outcomes. I represent all the pattern criteria as binaries. In a binary representation. So 2 raised to the 2 criteria is 4 different outcomes. So your binary representation is going to be 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, and that equates to 0, 1, 2, 3 in decimal. And remember, in the Pattern Smasher, you have to define your patterns so that they will result in either a true or false statement. So you could say, well, if close of 0 is greater than close of 1. If that's true, then you have a 1. That's a true, and true in binary is 1. If it's not greater than, if close of today is not greater than prior day's close, then it's false or 0. And that's what I discuss here. Greater than 0 is true or 1, less than 0 is false or 0. Formula 1, okay, you've got to plug in, you have to actually do a little bit of easy language programming inside the inputs of these indicators. We're going to look at Formula 1 is going to be the range of today, if you don't provide a subscript, it's today, is greater than the average true range of the last 30 days times 1.2. That's my definition of a wide range bar. It may not be your definition. You might say, well, it should be 1.5 or it should be 2.0. I'll leave that up to you. And my second criteria is today's close has got to be greater than the prior day close. I want an up close today, and I want today to be a wide range bar. So I want to investigate what happens after that occurs. I have a wide range bar and I have an up close. But the way the Pattern Smasher is designed, it investigates the entire search space. We can have a wide bar and an up close, or we can have a wide bar and a down close, or we can have a non-wide bar and an up close, or we can have a non-wide bar and a down close. So that's your 4 outcomes. So pattern 0, it occurs when both are false. We don't have a wide range bar. Today was not a wide range bar, and today was a down close. We have pattern string 0, 1, which is pattern number 1. First condition is true, and this is the criteria, first criteria or formula, and this is the second. So it kind of goes in backward order. And I did that because initially I designed this also to look at days. So when you look at a pattern, the furthest right pattern is the last pattern before the actionable day. But just remember, this is Formula 1 and this is Formula 2. If we had 3 formula, then you'd have another digit over here, and that would be for the third formula. Pattern 1 is today was a wide range bar, and today was a down close. Pattern 1, 0, which is 2 in decimal, today was not a wide range bar. Okay, we got false. And today was an up close. We had an up close. Pattern 3, we had both occurrences. We have both criteria met. Up close and a wide range bar, or if you want to go this way, it's a wide range bar and up close. And that's the beauty of Pattern Smasher 2024. It not only investigates what you're intrigued about, but it also provides all the different combinations of what could occur, because you may be completely off base. And it may be, hey, I want a down close in a wide range bar. See what happens. So it searches the entire space. So you've got to be careful if you're creating a simple pattern such as this. It can create a lot of different occurrences, and this, of course, will create a lot of different occurrences. You've got to be careful not to exceed over 2,000 occurrences. If you think you're going to exceed more than 2,000 occurrences, then you do have to modify the indicators by expanding the arrays, and I go into detail on how to do that in the manuals. So how do we put this into action with the indicators? Okay, the first indicator you want to play around with is just the simple, I call it the Pattern Smasher 2024 with no qualifier. There's nothing after the name. It's just Pattern Smasher. I got two more indicators in this chart. It's called pattern number and WF instances, and I'll discuss what those do in a moment here. But first off, let's go ahead and create a report. And remember, before you do anything, before you install any of these indicators, create, and I've defaulted it to this, on your local disk, create a folder called C Pattern Smasher _data, because I'm dumping all my data. I default that as my folder for my data from the Pattern Smasher 2024. If you want to change that, you can, and you can do that via the indicator inputs. So let's go ahead and let's go back over here and let's look at the inputs here. I've got, as you said, 8 formulas. So you can have all kinds of very complicated patterns, and you can see what happens on the following day, 2 days out, 3 days out. But in this case, we're doing a very simple pattern, which is the range, and this is easy language code right here, and it has to be easy language code. It doesn't understand anything but easy language code in these inputs. So I want the range of today to be greater than the average true range of the last 30 days times 1.2, and I want today's close to be greater than the prior day's close. Okay. Since I'm only using two of the possible 8 formula, I got to go down here and say I want to look at the length for 2 of the first 2. Ignore the other formula. Just look at the first 2 formula. And I'm not going to do a day-a-week filter. You could put, I think, M for Monday. If you only want to check Mondays, you could put MT for Monday and Tuesday, MTR, or MTW for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, blah, blah, blah. I'll let you look at that in the indicator manuals. Or the Pattern Smasher 2024 manual. I want to show the return. I want to show the performance and percentage on a percentage basis. I'm not going to break it down by year, which you can. I am going to write statistics out, and I'm going to write it to our default directory, and I'm going to call it the wide range study. Okay, it's going to create a comma delimited file, and I'm going to open it with. You could open it with Notepad if you like, but if you want everything to line up in a column, you want to open it with Excel. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Okay, I did a pretty good job. With the spacing, sometimes you can't, it's real tight. If it happens, say for example, this is real small and you can't read what this is doing, all you gotta do is highlight the whole thing and double click the column A. Okay, pattern number 0, decimal representation. This is the pattern code or the binary representation. The total cases that you have for this pattern, how many times the subsequent bar is up, how many times the subsequent bar is down, the average change between the closing prices for the first day after the pattern, and then I got bar 2 and bar 3, same thing. The pattern that we're intrigued about is we want to see what happens after an up close and a wide range bar, or better yet, Formula 1 being a wide range bar and up close. So we want to see what happens after a wide range bar and up close. Well, you only have 301 instances, okay? 160 of those were up, 141 of those were down on the following day, okay? It doesn't really tell you much. There's a 50-50 coin toss there, basically. And the return is a negative 0.0325%. If you go 2 days out, the bar 2, you get a little bit better probability of it being an up close with a 0.0668% return. And we still have the same thing on 3 days after, except the percentage goes down, return goes down. What's really intriguing is the best performer of all these is this number right here. It's 18.9%, which is not exactly accurate because I show the pattern being hit up multiple times during a 3-day time period, so I accumulate that return. I do provide an indicator that will not allow a trade to another trade or a pattern to be counted during the duration of an existing trade, and that's in the manual too. But this is really intriguing. It's looking for a non-wide bar and a down close. Okay, that seems to produce the best returns. So let's take a look at this on a visual basis, and we can do that by using the second indicator, which is what I call WF instances. I got to use the exact. Remember, we're going to use the exact same formula that we used in the report generation indicator, length 2. And I'm going to hold on to it for this. I'm going to hold on to it for 3 bars, and you could say 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar. I'm only looking back 365 days, which is approximately a year and a half or 2 years. So you can change that if you like. That's up to you. So let's see what that looks like. Okay, so we're going to hit close, and here is the indicator. This is kind of a neat indicator. What the gray bar is telling you is the number of cases, and this also tells you the up and down of those cases. So on this certain day right here, this certain day, it fits this pattern, which is pattern number 2, and on that pattern 2 hits up 106 times, 55 of the time they're up, 51 times they're down. So it really doesn't tell you too much. Now, is there any of these things that really show a predominance to the upside? Well, this really kind of does right here. Look at this. Look at this. You got a lot of green and a little bit of red. So what pattern number is that? So if you come up here, you can see what the pattern number is. The pattern number is 0. And we saw that the pattern 0 was the best generating performance, generating the best performance of all 4 outcomes. Okay, and I'm only going back 365 days. You can go back further, and this could be more detailing. Now, here's my pattern smasher pattern number, and I like to see, okay, what pattern is this day? Well, this day, this weird day, let's pick one right here. This is a wide bar for sure, and it's a down close. So wide bar that should be pattern number 1. Is it? It is pattern number 1, right? We had a wide range bar, 1. You go to the left, it is not an up close, it's a down close, so that's 0. So 0, 1 is 1. So that tells you what that pattern is for that day there. Now, you want to put this thing to work, okay? You want to see, okay, that showed some really good hypothetical, theoretical performance, but did it really do what it's supposed to do? We're going to pick pattern 0 in this case because it did generate the best returns from a long side. And of course, we're testing on the ES, which is a strong bullish bias for how many years? Who knows? I'm losing track of how many years this thing's been in a bull market. So that makes sense. But what really is telling you also, it's telling you some behavior of this market. It likes a mean reversion approach. You want a down close, and you want the bar not to be a wide bar. You want it to be a non-wide bar. Now, that doesn't mean it's a narrow bar. And in our bar, you could test that, of course. You could say range less than average true range of 30 days times 0.6, 0.7, whatever you want. So I've got a strategy that comes along with the package. Let's go and edit the studies. Let's edit the strategy. And the strategy is going to be, and here again, you've got to be very careful and you've got to be redundant. This is terribly redundant, but you have to do this. This is a very powerful tool, but you got to make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's. I want Formula 1 to be range is greater than average true range 30 times 1.2. I'm drilling this into you, but you've got to make these things match or they won't add up. They won't make sense. So the close of today is greater than the prior day's close, and I'm only looking at the first 2 formula. And I only want to go long, and I want to hold on for 3 bars. That was the best return, right? That's what we saw. And a stop loss amount, I'm basically negating it by using a $100,000 loss. Let's see what happens with just this here. Let's see what the performance looks like. Okay, let's view performance. strategy performance report. And of course, this doesn't surprise me from the numbers we saw from our Excel sheet. This thing has really done quite well. It's got some steep drawdown, of course, and that occurred during the post-pandemic era. So that's using a basically your no profit objective or protective stop. What happens if we optimize the stop? Just for laughs and giggles here, let's go into Pattern Smash 2024 match. Okay, length 2. And let's go to this number here, and I'm thinking of something else. I thought I had another thing I could just specify the pattern number. I don't know. It might be in the package. Let's optimize it. Let's go from I don't know, $1,000 to say 5,000. See if we can improve the numbers any. That drawdown number was huge. That's basically saying, hey, you're doing 1,000 to 5,000. It's probably more bars back than you've got set, but we're not dealing with bars. We're dealing with dollars here. So let's hit that. Let's hit optimize. Should be very quick because we're on daily bars. Remember, this is a very sophisticated product. So you've got to give it a little bit of time because I'm doing all the number crunching and there's a lot of math in there. And we got to file a pinned function. And why that occurred is I need to turn. When you do this, you should turn all your indicators off. So let's go ahead and do that. And I think it's, and you know why? Because I had the Excel open. If you do have that open, make sure you close that or turn the indicators off, one of the two. So that doesn't really matter. Let's see what this thing did. I did a little bit better. The drawdown's not as severe. Let's look at the, you know what? That didn't work because it had that error. So let's redo that real quick. So, and the reason I got that error is because I had my document in Excel open still. So when it redrew the data, it reapplied the indicators, and so it's tried to dump that data to a file that was already open. Just make sure you close that. That was my mistake. I apologize for that. Let's go back over here. Let's go to studies again. Let's do the same thing. I apologize for that. I should have caught that. We're going to do an optimization here. Let's optimize that. Selling stats, so let's do it. Let's optimize it. Again, it takes a little bit of time. Again, you can make this a lot quicker if you turn off the indicators. I should have done that. Let's try this one more time. I apologize. I got the optimization and it only came up to be 1, and I'll show you why. Let's go ahead and just turn off when you're doing the optimization of the strategy, because you've already done all your research, you've got that done. Just turn off the studies, which I've done here. Just turn them off. Okay. And that helps because, like I said, these indicators are very sophisticated indicators. The strategy isn't that, you know, you just basically tell them look for a certain pattern and match it up. Let's go ahead and optimize this. And I noticed when I was optimizing it, the numbers didn't make sense. And I don't know why this incremented to this number here. I should have changed that. I thought it changed automatically when I changed that from 100,000, but it didn't. So let's go by 250. Okay, so that's going to give us, get that warning, don't worry about it. So let's see what happens here. Okay. 17 is your count. You should always check this. When I'm doing videos, sometimes I fly through this. If this goes above 10,000, then you want to jump down to genetic optimization, but we're just going to do a standard optimization right quick. This shouldn't take long. There we go. Let's take those indicators off. It's a lot faster. So let's look at the optimization, and we did, like I said, 17 optimizations, and you get a wide range of bars. Look at this. This thing jumped up. Let's go ahead and add this to the apply it to the test chart. $187,000. Max trade loss was 32.50. So we can close that down. Let's go ahead and strategy, data. Let's go to the strategy performance, or you can just click this button up here, and there you go. So you're saying, wow, that's awesome. Man, I've got me a trading system. Well, you really don't have a trading system. I mean, you've got to take into consideration we've been in a bull market. Don't let this information fool you into thinking you've developed the Holy Grail, because you have not. And let's look at the performance summary, because there's a lot of trades in here. You do have a $409 trade per trade, so you could throw $100 commission slippage and still make pretty decent funds with it. You are going to have to suffer at one point or another a $24,000 drawdown. So the Holy Grail, it looks beautiful from a graphic representation, but if we go to detailed, we're going to see a little bit more of a drawdown right here. So that is just the very simple investigation with the very powerful Pattern Smasher 2024 tool. Read the manual if you purchase it. Again, I'm going to bundle this very soon in my Black Friday special for 2024. I'll bundle this, and I'm working on a really cool easy language educational video. I'm starting a thing called the Easy into Easy Language Academy. And I'm going to investigate the Taylor trading technique on a day trade basis. So that'll be bundled with this. I'm not sure what price I'm going to have on it, but like I said, you'll see, you'll just come back to my website and you'll see I'll have that on my digital store very soon. Okay, thank you very much.